Team can take you out to lunch if you don't pay attention to detail.
Well, this is the NBA. I mean, every team's got talent, and if you don't take teams seriously,
Joke him with the pick. Let's roll.
This is a stretch they have to take very seriously.
Fouling your boy
As long as they
right out the
focus
gate.
and play hard, I think they've got a chance to do well.
Here's the starting group for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've got Daniel Gibson. No Sione out there with Kevin Love. And it's Mehmet Okur.
Light
It's
work.
Parker in at the 2.
Yeah, lock that nigga up.
Pocket 6. A baseline J. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
Yo, Rip. Let it rip.
Defense last season under their coach,
Damn end.
Thibodeau, who has been a renowned defensive coach over the years. In fact, Chicago was #1 in the league in opponents' field goal percentage.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Well, Byron Scott had a few moments to share with me. As they got ready to face the Bulls for the first time this season, he talked about last year when Chicago had one of the toughest defenses in the entire NBA. He didn't anticipate that they have to match the Bulls' effort. He said, listen, we want to make things just as hard on them as they make it on us. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. 13.
Bow.
Rose gets the bucket. Coach Tom Thibodeau, who Clark was a longtime assistant in the NBA.
Yeah, and that's why they brought him on board, I think, Kevin. I mean, he's a defensive guru, has been since he's been in the league, and I think the results speak for themselves.
Can't guard me. Comment down below what you thought of Luka's 60-point game.
You know, for so long, the best point guard talk had been between Paul, Nash, and Darren Williams. But Rose might have thrust himself in the front of the conversation last year.
Going back to Rose, Steve, he certainly made a strong case with his play.
He was phenomenal in terms of his, and somebody whose teammates absolutely love.
Now here's Gibson. 14 points from him the last game against the Lakers. Parker's shot is off. Outside Rose.
Cash money.
It's good from long range. Rose has got 9.
He has such a calm demeanor, but he locks in, takes his time, and finishes.
Okur backing him down.
Who else thought, dang, block that?
Doing his work early and establishing that position inside. Wherever he's been, Byron Scott has had success. I mean, he took the Nets to back-to-back NBA Finals appearances and helped their coach.
Now here's Gibson, following the miss by Derrick Rose. They're moving the ball. Parker against Noah for 3. Okur. With the clock winding down.
There's a pretty play.
Watch this.
In there. Nicely done.
That's exactly what it is. Laid it up there beautifully.
No mistakes on either end, and a great touch on that layup.
Outside Rose. Noah with the screen on Gibson. He goes up.
In there,
Rose.
like swimwear.
Keeping things moving forward as the season went along. It was a tough season for everybody, but I thought Byron Scott did a nice job kind of keeping them afloat.
Here's Rose. He's got 11. Back to Noah. He feeds it to Rose. No good. And Cleveland will take it the other way.
Defensive end of the floor.
Now here's Okur, following the miss by Derrick Rose. We've got 28 seconds left here in the opening quarter. With the teardrop.
I'm locked in right now.
Boozer dishes to Rose. Boozer goes back up.
Shout out Booze, mun.
You know, the hardest part of that play was getting to the rebound. After that, it was easy.
And Gibson kicks to Love. Over Boozer. And he beat the buzzer, but it's no good.
To the late 80s, early 90s, the Bulls and Cavs had a terrific run, just shredding the Cavaliers.
On the floor for Cleveland, getting going here in the second. Samir Dan is out there with Kevin Love.
Get that out of here,
It's
boy.
Daniel Gibson. Then there's Anthony Parker. And it's Ianga in at the 3 spot. Back to the Cavs and Bulls. You're right. You know, Steve Rose was just
Damn.
terrific against him. Chicago Clark won.
Team forced field goal percentage shooting, and you combine that.
Jimmy Buck's
with
going
facing
crazy.
The Bulls, the best defensive team in the league,
And Rose throws it down hard. Here's the angle on our Sprite Slam Cam.
now that's just rubbing it in, so.
Throwing it down with style.
Had to take off on dem boys.
Anytime soon.
Shot clock at 5. Over Boozer. Love can't hit.
How about the season Kevin Love had a year ago? He put up numbers that we haven't seen in a long time. Had a 30-30.
Let that rip.
Huge rebound totals, and it just continued all season long.
Gibson with it. Right now averaging 7 points a game.
Block.
It's blocked. The Bulls leading by 7. Butler kicks to Rose. Shot off the pick.
Balling.
Again, Chicago. Going back to Kevin Love and his numbers, Clark. I mean,
Kevin, mind-boggling. I mean, you rarely see numbers in the high 20s and 30s as far as glass eating.
Lock him up.
And this guy doesn't really wow you with his athleticism.
No.
He's strong, he's tenacious, excellent hands and timing, but still, that number of rebounds. There's guys that couldn't get that many rebounds by themselves in practice. In the gym, by themselves, couldn't get 30 rebounds, let alone in a game. Come on, man.
Making it look easy.
Seems like that phenomenal campaign for the Chicago Bulls. It really improved his three-point shooting, which was just amazing.
catching up on the changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for a Sheik. Bang comes in for Butler. And Ronnie Brewer's subbed in for Richard Hamilton. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers.
He's so young, you can continue to see him grow and develop. Certainly, you've got to talk about Chris Paul, Darren Williams, and I think it's a matter of what flavor you like in your point guard.
Sure.
He's more of a scoring presence at the point, and I'm fine with that. He's not the kind of setup guy that Paul or Nash or Williams is, but that's okay. Variety is fine.
Here's Rose. He's got 18. Picked up by Harris. Rose can't hit.
Wow, what a board.
Booze
The little guy
Munn
somehow
coming in
got
clutch.
the ball.
And here is Okur. Nocioni kicks to Gibson. Noah against Okur. Gibson for 3. Once again off the mark by Cleveland.
A lot of wins were piled up in last season's campaign by the Bulls, and a big part of that was their work on the backboards. I mean, they were a glass-eating team.
Make them earn every point.
Yeah, I think that's just tough.
And so we wrap up the first half. Bulls in Chicago.
Third quarter, let's
Second,
go.
They really asserted their will on the boards. You're right, Clark. And Steve, I know that was a huge portion of their winning season.
Yeah, they've led the NBA with a +6 per game rebound margin. Nobody else in the league even came close to that mark, and that's why they were such a good team.
Third quarter action getting rolling right now. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. Rose and Dang on the floor. Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah. They're inside. That's Hamilton in at the 2 spot. Rose a screen on Parker. A second chance effort. Rose can't get that one to fall. Dang can't get it to go.
Defender had to do there was just stay close to him, and he did.
They get the rebound. Now Nocioni, averaging 6 points per contest. Parker against Hamilton. Love outside. 4 on the clock. Gibson passes to Nocioni. 3-pointer. That drops. Nocioni's got 5.
With the result, he was just what the Bulls were looking for in the new head coach.
Cash.
And
But that
one's good.
ain't the last.
20 points for Rose.
Maybe with that, the lid on this basket will be lifted for him.
And Love backs in. Now here's Gibson. He's covered by Rose. Rose against Gibson. Shot is off. Boozer with the defensive effort. When you see the turnaround, Clark, that Thibodeau brought to Chicago. You know, Steve, you were in the front office before hiring and firing coaches. You wonder why
Money.
he wasn't hired sooner.
The Cavs beating the Bulls. That shit's funny. Bars.
He's a phenomenal coach, did a great job with Chicago. Thibodeau very defensive-minded, and he's got a lot of great defenders on that Chicago team.
Parker against Hamilton. Parker dishes to Okur. Good. Okur's got 9 points.
That's a lot of height for the defense to have to deal with.
You know what, guys? I mean, especially against a guy with his touch.
Pull it up.
Rose, and the Bulls tack on 2 more.
To the offense.
Tough season last year for Cleveland. A disaster, really, losing LeBron James and then falling apart as a team. In fact, they couldn't even succeed against the weaker Eastern Conference, going just 15 and 37.
Okur backing him down. Goes up the baseline. Parker's shot is off. The Bulls leading by 9. Back to the Cavs. You know opponents could smell blood against them for a while, too, in that East.
Yeah, and I mean, they went through a stretch where they lost, what, 20-plus games in a row?
Yes.
And a losing streak, so they had a lot of things working against them, not to mention a depletion of talent and personnel from prior seasons.
With a coach, a brand new coach, and Byron Scott, who was used to winning.
Yeah,
Fast break.
Tough environment. It was.
Very difficult.
And I like the aggressiveness defensively, forcing that mistake.
Here's Rose. Sinks it from about 9 feet out. No Sione with it. He's got 5. Offensive rebound. Here's Okur, and an emphatic dunk.
Well, his rebounding is certainly something this team has come to rely on.
Yeah, the fans have come to rely on him for those dunks for sure.
Well, and nobody was disappointed on that play.
And it's rejected. The
Swiper.
Cavaliers trail by 9. They better get a move on. 3 seconds separate the shot clock in game. Gibson backs in. Hamilton against Parker. And Rose picks him up defensively. Parker, a well-timed shot fake, got the defender off the ground right there. And here we go with Derrick Rose. 26 points for him. And a great show through 3 quarters as we enter the 4th.
Kevin, and you might have guessed, Derrick Rose is our bright spark. His point production triggered this advantage. He's been a consistent source of
Efforts tonight, guys. He's really put his team on his shoulders today.
Locking in.
And Cleveland looking at who they've got to start the 4th quarter. We've got Antoine Jamison, Anthony Parker out there with Daniel Gibson. Then there's no Sione. And it's Serdan in at the 5, down low.
Had to foul your boy. We're going Q.
They still managed to finish with a better road record than 4 other teams in the league.
Clark, what you said about the Cavs, I'm not sure if that says more for them or Steve on the other hand, the 4 teams they finished ahead of.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, they knew it was going to be a tough year without LeBron James, but the thing I like about Cleveland is they're strong for the future.
And Gibson kicks to Jamison. Shoots the 3. It's all in by the Bulls. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. This game coming after a loss against the Bucks.
I thought they had such a poor percentage.
Couldn't agree more. Disorganized would be a word. Dysfunctional. I mean, way too many times they're going one-on-one or running the shot clock all the way down and then having to jack some crazy shot up. That was the problem, just not organized.
Dishes it to Gibson. There's the 3. Gets it to go. Gibson's got 5 points now this quarter.
Boy, poor defense at both ends. It kind of reminds me of your teams, Clark.
Well, not exactly. We did give a little better effort. I mean, neither squad really digging in.
He's covered by Rose. And Cleveland again with the buckets.
Boy, this is scary. You get a score rolling like this, you're in some trouble.
Yeah, you can't leave a guy like that on an island. I mean, you got to bring some help.
Uses the glass to finish the lane.
Too easy.
Rose has got 12 points in just the second half.
You know, they're just getting hammered inside and really need to find a way to be tougher down there. They got to be.
Can't just let them light us up from three-point territory.
And thank you for that, Doris. Here's Gibson. And Rose picks him up defensively. Outside, Jamison. The leaner. And so he earns it. The first one falls. That's also good. So he hits both free throws. Here is Rose. Defended by Gibson. Rose, a screen on Parker. Rose passes to Butler. Over Parker. Another shot, and he cruises to the hoop for the layup. And the Bulls lead.
Yeah, that really seems to be the strategy, partner. I mean, pound it inside.
And Gibson kicks to Jamison. Defended by Butler. Back to Gibson. Fires for three. Here's Caspi. Shot is blocked. And they keep possession. Here's Hollins. Covered by Noah. They shoot again. Brewer grabs the board. The Bulls leading by 4. The pass to Rose. And here is Brewer. Kicks it to Rose. Off. Gibson against Rose. With 1 on the clock. No luck. Now Chicago takes it the other way. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. This game against Cleveland is the first time they've met this season.
And as you'd expect, I mean, this was all.
Here's Jamison. It falls. And he has brought them to within 2 points. Chicago making some changes. Carlos Boozer's checked in for Butler. Bang comes in for Ronnie Brewer. And Richard Hamilton is subbed in for Kyle Corbin. Now Rose.
Clutch.
Call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. That one is on Parker.
Well, they had a foul to give, but they couldn't get it done before that shot attempt.
Yeah, and giving up free throws isn't ideal here, Steve. You know that, but at least they got the clock stopped.
Perfect from the line, and it's a 4-point ball game. We've got 28 seconds left in the game.
It's obvious he's hurting. I mean, he's going to tough it out, though, and continue to contribute on. You got to give him credit for that.
And so here is Chicago. A 2-point game. And now they decide to foul intentionally. Sinks the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. Gets them both, and it's a 4-point ball game. Timeout called the Cavaliers. They're down by 4. 23 seconds. Here's Gibson. He dishes it to Okur. And it's sent back by Noah. And now they foul and stop the clock.
Well, not much of a choice there. They pretty much had to foul.
Yeah, that's the only option they had to try to get the ball back to even this thing up.
Can't get the first one to drop. Does make the second, and that puts them up by 5.
Talk about a clutch free throw, Kev. That one just might have sealed the game.
Love inside. Straight up. Excellent defense there from Boozer.
Well, sometimes he really lacks the confidence he needs when he's driving to the basket.
And so it's Chicago winning this one. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win.
taking back this moment. These words I spoke, I know it. Now I can see clearly. I folded, I shouldered too much weight, I hold it.